Hey, 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 hey. Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning, Streammates. Hello, everybody on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. We're playing Chumbawamba Tub Thumping right now on Star 94.1. You know what's funny that no one talks about enough when we bring up the 90s? It was all about MTV.
Oh yeah,
The 90s to me were all MTV.
Well, because they timed TRL perfectly to where it was on right when we got home, got a snack, and then could plop down and get into the songs that we wanted.
Yeah, I mean, honestly.
Pissing the night away.
Oh man, I just fell down the rabbit hole. Star 94.1, Jesse and Tati in the morning. That was Chumbawamba Tub Thumping, wrapping up the 90s at 9. By the way, jump online, say hi on our web stream right now. We're on. We are live from the studio, jesseandtati.com. So as we were listening to that song, Tati, we were talking about how MTV, it feels like when I think of the 90s, I think of so many MTV things.
Yeah, everything about MTV, what Grindin', Total Request Live,
TRL,
yes.
I just found 8 classic moments from TRL. That song, Chumbawamba Tub Thumping, was a part of these 8 memorable moments. But let's see if I can go through some of these other ones. Guys, do you remember that Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey performed together for the first time on TRL, and it started leading into them having a relationship?
I forgot about that.
And then she found out tuna wasn't actually chicken.
Their reality show was pretty funny. Yes.
It was a good one. It was one of the better to kick off reality shows.
Do you guys remember Hillary from MTV? She was the first normal human being that won a contest to be a VJ on MTV. And
I wanted to be a VJ.
I did too. Did you ever send it a tape?
Yes.
I did too.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Sent them a tape. My tape was so dumb.
Do you have it?
No, I don't have it, but I remember it. I remember it was just following me. It was a day in the life of me, and it was like me getting in and out of the car, making food.
Do you remember the Jesse that they did pick?
Jesse Camp.
And how wild he was?
He was crazy. Yeah. He was all over the place.
I remember that too.
Looking back at some more TRL moments is where we met In Sync for the very first time. It is
Blink 182 for the very first time.
It is where Aaliyah went on and decided to weigh in on her thoughts on this new group, Destiny's Child, that she was hearing all about. She went on.
I remember that interview. Now I'm gonna look for it.
You have to look it up. She talks a little smack, and it was 3 months before she passed, so it was some crazy stuff. Anyways, there's oh my gosh, Josh Hartnett interviewed Rihanna. Very interesting. Okay. TRL top moments.
They were in a movie together.
So weird. Were they really?
I think so. That's why they interviewed each other. I think they were in a battleship type movie, right?
Oh yeah, something like that. I know what you're talking about. It's the 90s at 9. We'll get back into these conversations tomorrow morning. Plus, playing your favorite 90s music. You can always tell us what you like to at 866-570-1941. But we will see you right now on our live stream. Jump on jesseandtati.com.
Can you hear it in the background?
Hey.
I'm gonna mute my mic because maybe not. I got the dentistry collective here.
Yep. Do you think? You weren't into MTV, but your pets' names were Kurt Loder, Carson Daly, and Downtown Julie Brown.
What kind of animal was Downtown Julie Brown? That's what I want to know.
Poodle.
Oh, you think so?
Poodle. I'm guessing poodle.
Okay.
What's up, Marco? Here you go, Tati.
There's a whole new experience waiting for you when it comes to getting your dentist visit done in a way that it feels like, I don't know, people are just taking care of you. The Dentistry Collective is a whole new experience, like a mini oasis. You get in there, whatever it is you want. You're not just like somebody in the dentist.
Oh, yeah, I got a
guest there. Give you a warm
I got a notification that we're live right now.
It's been cold in San Diego. It's nice to feel like a little luxury when you're at the dentist's office.
Thanks,
now,
YouTube.
they do it all, but they also give you so much more. Want to check them out? TheDentistryCollective.com.
Michael.
That's the Dentistry Collective.
Some of the best times of my life. Some of the best times of my life.
Time out.
Oh my God.
Do you replay
Lonely Parents Club? Yep.
Do you want to do the one that we did today, or do you want to just toss it into the call that we had? that wasn't used.
No, the call with this guy.
No. The call that we had for lonely parents that we didn't use.
Oh, was that a new one?
Hmm.
No, if it's not a new one, that's okay. You can just play us, just because I wanted to spend today really explaining what the Lonely Parents Club was, anyways, so that people that are new listeners never didn't get it. I felt like we were very exploratory with it. Okay, hold on. Let me plug in my battery before we have a real big issue. I get knocked out and I get up again.
Jesse has a lot of stories about the beach house at Mission Beach, Michael.
That was.
Oh yes.
He tried
That's
to be here.
Here we go. Oh.
So
Yeah, I actually.
Go ahead.
One of my stories from it has to do with me and this dude I used to work with named Hip Hop D. He was like my co-host / partner when I first started in radio here. We used to drive the van together. We had like a weekend show together, and we were starting to get really close and chummy with the MTV casting guys that were in San Diego, because when the Beach House ever came to San Diego, they would kind of like unleash their casting guys into the city. And they would go to college parties and blah, blah, and pluck kids to be on all the shows that they had, because they shot like 10 shows a day or something from that beach house when they were here. And so they needed so many different people. And so we started getting close with the casting guys, and they gave us a front of the line pass to audition for Sing What Karaoke, which I don't know if you guys remember that song. It was just like a karaoke thing, but you come up with like full dance routine and get all crazy. So my buddy Hip Hop D and I were like, okay, well, let's do Big Pimpin'. Jay-Z's Big Pimpin' was like the big song. And so I'll never forget, we pulled up in front of the radio station one late night, him and I, and we pulled the van up and we turned the lights on ourselves and we practiced. We came up with a dance routine in front of the glass double doors of the iHeart building. That was like our mirror. And so we came up with this 2-person dance routine and we practiced it was like till like 2 a.m. We're out there in the parking lot doing that. We show up the next day to do the audition. We get on stage. The music starts and bam, bam, bam. We're doing the moves. I'm like, Big Pimpin'. I look over and D is standing there like a statue, not moving. And I'm like, oh my God, he's full on stage fright right now. And so I'm dancing. So I go around him like I'm going around. Maybe he'll fucking see what I'm doing and start. And it was over. And the guys, I remember the guys in the audience, the casting guys who gave us the front of the line to go audition and stuff like that, you could see the look on their face of like, oh my gosh, why did we give those guys a chance to audition? I'm going to get in so much trouble right now. These guys are so bad. Like you could tell that the casting guys regretted giving us the option. And we walked out, we go out to the parking lot and I'm like, what's wrong, dude? And he's like, I don't know, man. I'm freezing when I get up there. And I'm like, do you want to try one more time? Do you think you could do it? And he was like, let's just stand here for a little while. We'll figure it out. So we stood there and just kind of like shot the breeze and hung out. And after about 15 minutes, I thought he was kind of coming around. And I was like, all right, man, let's do this. Let's get this shit together. Let's go in there. Let's do this. And he was like, no, I can't. Not doing it. And that was it. We never even went back inside to say we're not coming in. We just got in the van and left. It was so I'll never forget that. I was so embarrassed. So embarrassed.
But Hip Hop D, like he was an outgoing guy to a certain degree, so I could kind of like understand.
He was a perfect guy for radio because he was so funny and very outgoing. People loved him, but he didn't like the spotlight in person. He was great on the radio for that, like
he
perfect.
liked to be very under the radar.
Yes. Oh, I'll never forget that. It was the worst. All right.
Camera.
Hi, friends. I got a haircut. Yeah, Tati's dialed today. Tati started doing her thing this morning.
Who's the video shoot for, Tati?
Oh, I drink La Crema wine.
Oh, okay.
So I'm hoping that I can tell everyone I drink La Crema wine.
Where are they from? Are they from San Diego?
I don't believe so.
Oh.
But let me. The 94 looking all right. Sponsored by the
I buy my La Crema at I buy it at Costco. So I don't know if they want me to say all that, but it's really good.
Yeah. So what do you want to practice your video? What are you going to say?
Are you gonna hip hop D me right now? Because I feel like hip hop D right now. Like,
oh no, are you gonna get stage fright? I won't put you on the spot. Never mind. Hey,
I don't know what it is.
Any questions to call yourself out on? What's up?
I do agree with the whole like what you guys just said about hip hop D, because I feel like I'm weird like that. Like people are always like, oh, but you're on your Instagram and you take selfies and you're always like doing videos and this and that. I'm like, yeah, but there's no one with me. That's why I like radio. Like it's just you and your phone. Like it's a different experience when like I know that there's people watching this right now, like in real time. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's kind of weird. And once you start
people always say, like, do you get nervous? And I'm like, the anxiety of having a live microphone and a live camera or whatever in front of you, it actually never really goes away. It never, ever. You just learn how to like deal with it and get better at it, but it never, ever goes away. I always, like you saying that right now, that like knowing there's people at home, when I watch this back, which I don't do often, but if I watch this live back later this afternoon, I would notice 20 things that I'm doing right now that I don't normally do in normal person-to-person conversations. And it would drive me crazy. I'd be like, why am I doing that? Why do I keep turning away? Why do I keep grabbing something? Why does it look like I can't sit still? I would like second guess that, but I'm sure it's a part of like a mild performance anxiety that we probably feel no matter what,
Every time I used to host nightclub gigs, I'd have to take a poop.
Really? Because you knew you're gonna be on the mic and be on the stage and all that? Like
my body would start like when I'm driving to the place, like I would be like, oh great. Like I would have to like, it's like they call it like the performance like the Olympic poops or the performance poops, like right before like you're about to like, you know, do your thing. Like I would just get like and have to use the bathroom.
I always had to have a drink.
It still happens till this day. So it's like
I always have to have a drink, which I sometimes find to be very not irresponsible, but like I don't want to ever feel like I can't go on stage without having a shot or a beer before, except for the fact that I almost every single time have a shot or a beer before. Like I don't know what to say. It's kind of the truth.
Yeah, I think I went through that in my early years and then I recognized it and I was like, oh, I don't want to be the person who can't like just do what I need to do without drinking. And so like I had to figure it out, because I thought the only reason why I was good at this job or like any type of was because I drank. And I remember I had to be like, okay, that's not true. I need to get that out of my head. But it was definitely because of nerves. I think a lot of people are like, you know, when you have to do a public speech or you have to be your nerves is it's easier to calm your nerves when you have a quick shot or drink or something, you know. Liquid courage is what it is.
Liquid courage, yep.
Yeah. Are we gonna talk about what we talked about earlier? Or did that get a little serious?
What? What are what kind of COVID people we are? Yeah, we can talk about it. Awesome. Howdy squad. No. Why did you get too serious? Because homeboy called?
Yeah, I feel like I didn't want to make him feel some type of way, but no matter what, you're going to say something and make people feel some type of way.
Yeah.
I think that, I think he definitely felt some type of way because of our laughter. We laugh a lot, you know, and I think sometimes people think that we're not taking things seriously. And it's like, actually we're having fun in each other's company, but it's not like we're taking away from the seriousness of the topic.
Well, I don't think any of us are saying we're not into wearing masks or anything like that, or that we're going out and we're moving unsafely. It's just.
Well, look, I mean, I try to tell people all the time, like, I don't feel any sort of way about that at all. And the specific reason is because our job is to find a way to halfway entertain through our conversations on the radio. And it's during one of the worst things that's ever happened in our country. So to me, I'm like, any way we can figure out how to bring this up that isn't a giant downer and just like any way we could do it, I really don't care if anyone is affected by it. And so what Tati's talking about is that we were talking on the air earlier about what kind of COVID people all of us are. And it was a funny conversation because we know each other so well now. And after this full year, I think we get like how each one of the three of us is taking things in the world right now with the pandemic. And then a guy called directly after off the air and had an incredible story about being a 42-year-old, very in shape, ex-firefighter who just got COVID, ended up spending 9 days in the hospital. He seemed very affected by everything. Very good. We're going to try to get it on the air, actually, so you can hear it tomorrow. But I know what you're saying, Tati. It's like, it's tough to hear when a guy like that really went through it, and we were just having fun talking about it on the air in a way, you know. I get it, but I mean, shoot, we got to talk about this stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So with that said, so we'll move past that. The question is really quick, and I wanted to do those other questions too that Shelly sent us, questions to call yourself out on. We can do that in a little bit, but we identified that at least amongst us, we are three different types of people when it comes to COVID. I am annoyingly positive. Tati is mildly hypocritical, and Shelly is feels kind of guilty.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of COVID people we are. She's the feel guilty COVID person. I'm the annoyingly positive, and Tati is the partially hypocritical COVID person. So who out of our streammates, which one are y'all? Do you guys identify with any of those three without us having to totally explain what we are?
I think maybe a light explanation.
You think what?
Because I have been out and about, and there's times when I go over to like my friend's house, and you know, I'm hanging out with her and her husband and their two kids, and I walk in with the mask on, like, is this cool? Fully knowing that how I'm moving around, but they're like, we own a business, we go in and out of people's houses all the time. We're around people just as much as you are. Like, okay, I don't feel so guilty then for the way I move.
You know what's been the hardest for me is my in-laws, because they love gathering and they love being together, and I find myself being kind of identified as the person that's not into it, and it's what makes their family breathe, is them being together, you know. And so that has been the hardest part for me, is like, you know, I remember a time my father-in-law trying to give me a hug and me going, Shelly at work got a positive test, man. I don't think you want to give me a hug right now. And I remember the look on his face was like so turned off by me, you know? And I was like, oh no, don't feel like that. Please don't feel like that. But I mean, honestly, dude, like, I don't know what to, you know? And so I think for me, trying to maintain the politics within my family that all of a sudden comes up because of COVID and everyone deals with it differently. That's been the hardest part for me, because I never want my wife to feel like I don't love her or support her family. And I would never want her to feel like I judge them because maybe they do get together more than they should or have gotten together more than they should. I don't want it to be anything, you know, like I just don't want it. I don't want it to be anything at all. I want whatever happens after this is over. I want everything to be back to normal. I don't want them to be like, well, yeah, I remember the days Jesse would refuse to come around. You know, like that's the thing. It's like,
but people do that. People make you feel bad for wanting to follow the rules. And that's the other thing too, though, is when you don't believe in something and then you make, and when I say this, because you guys know, I'm always like, don't take things personal. Don't take things personal. But when they're personally saying it's you can't not take it personal anymore. Like I had a friend who literally looked at me and was like, oh, rolled her eyes because I'm the annoying friend who went into her house with a mask on, and we're about to film something. And I'm like, is everyone going to be wearing masks? Like, I'm asking questions about who's going to be there. Are we all wearing masks? How far away are we going to be from each other? Like, where, you know, and I become oh no, Tati, the annoying COVID person. And it's just like, I just don't understand how I'm annoying when I'm protecting you from me. You're not protecting, you know what I mean? Like to me, it's very weird. Like, I still don't think people understand that part. But then at the same time, you know, when I say the whole hypocritical thing is, if I'm with people who wear their mask and we're all wearing our mask and I'm gathering more people than you're supposed to, I'm breaking the rules. Technically, just because I'm wearing a mask doesn't mean I'm not breaking the rules. I'm gathering, right? So that's the part where it's like, I'm finding the parts of this where I'm comfortable with and the parts that I'm not comfortable with. And so people see that as, oh, it's funny how you want to uphold some rules, but not all of them. And
that's a good way to put it. Your own personal comfort with it ends up being a lot of it, like big heavy part of it.
And it gets scrutinized because you're very vocal about what you do and do not believe. Now, if you just stay quiet and you don't say anything, then you get to fly under the radar. And people are like, oh, that's what you're supposed to be. And I'm like, but that's not me as my personality, period. Like, I'm loud. I tell everybody how I feel. That's just kind of, you know what I mean? So it is very
well.
weird.
So then let me ask you a question that's a little bit shifted from exactly what's going on. It has more to do with the future. How do you feel moving forward, whether we're in the pandemic or out of the pandemic, whatever? But how do you feel about a permanent, polite gesture to wear a mask when you're sick in public, moving forward forever? Where are you guys at with that?
That's what Japanese, that's what, I mean, Asian countries.
That's the Asian cultures all in that. Asian culture's been doing that now for like 3 decades.
I'm okay with going to the grocery store from here on out and having to wear a mask. And if I'm not feeling super great, making sure that if I'm going to be around other people, making sure I'm wearing a mask. Like,
because I will tell you that I have been out and done things and been places so many times in my life where I'm literally like so sick, you know, and I'm like at events or I'm here with this microphone putting all my sickness into this, you know, and I swear to you,
before this pandemic, were we spraying down mics after we used them when we had hacking coughs and all
God,
that,
no,
which is really gross if you really think about it.
It's so gross. And look, everyone, you know, hates when someone brings this up during the pandemic, but the amount of sick that I have not gotten this year, the consciousness of staying clean right now and sanitizing and all this other crap, if we don't all think that is kind of helping an overall thing with us in general, we're crazy. It is. We're all sick less right now. We just are, because we're protecting against this one thing, but it's affecting many things, I think. And there's nothing wrong with that. It only makes me feel like, man, I did not pay attention before at all to my health in public whatsoever.
Though you're saying, will you wear a mask when you're sick from here moving forward, right?
Yeah, in public.
But people who don't want to wear masks are saying that they're not sick. That's why they don't want to wear a mask. And the difference with what you're saying is you're talking regular, like sick.
Yeah, I'm talking later on. I'm talking when this pandemic's over.
Yeah, you're talking cold and flu and stuff like that, right? This pandemic is a very different type of sick where you don't even know if you're sick. If you know what I mean? That's what they're saying for everyone to wear a mask. It's not like a cold where you're like
where you can hear it. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You know, like
not so obvious.
That's why I get when people are like, but I'm not sick. Why should I wear a mask? And I'm like, yes, you're right. You shouldn't have to wear a mask when you're a healthy person. However, this thing, you can have it and not show symptoms. That's a part. I don't think it's getting drilled in people's heads, you know, like,
yeah,
I'm not sick. I can say right now all day I'm not sick, but I haven't taken a test to say so. I don't have any symptoms, but
someone did have a really good stat yesterday, and I don't know if it was a real stat or just a meme or whatever, but it said 100% of people that have had COVID or have had someone close to them die from COVID wear masks and follow the rules. And I was like, if that's true, I get it. And that's sad, because that would mean that we would all need to have that perspective to take it serious. And that shit is crazy to me.
Well, that's like what happened with a friend in Vegas, and he was out for 6 weeks. So,
that's no doubt on Star 94.1, Jesse and Tati in the morning. Remember, Tati has 3 kiddos that keep her very busy in her very busy home. I've got 2 kiddos. One, thank goodness, moved to college. I'm less busy at home, Tati. It's nice.
Is it nice?
It's quite a relief.
Okay.
But the story between the two of us is that we're very happy and focused parents of our children. And we share those stories, and the very honest things our kids say to us is something we do called the Lonely Parents Club. And you're going to hear more of that and our stories next. Bye. If we're sick, we should skip the handshake with strangers and just bow to each other. I you know what, Thor? I know that's a joke, but I wonder if we will handshake anymore.
I used to always say I was a hugger. Do you guys remember? Like, and people are like,
yes,
huggers.
That's right.
I'm a hugger.
Yeah, huggers are out. Y'all aren't gonna hug anyone anymore.
I'm just a hugger. like in Hawaii, you kiss on the cheek, like you do the cheek to cheek, like it's not. I mean, there's a lot of things that are just not gonna be anymore, and it's kind of sad, but at the same time, it's like.
Yeah, I mean, look, we just need to all understand we're fragile. We're just not bulletproof, and maybe we have felt like that or something for a really long time, but we're not. And there could be another thing that it's not even named COVID someday in our lifetime. You never know. I mean, who knows? So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Our best practice is going to change in that way. I don't know.
Well, how do people feel about condoms? No, I'm just kidding.
Or sunglasses. Well, trust me, I was trying to do that with Natalie the other day about condoms and sunglasses. I'm like,
sunblock.
I was like, why do you wear sunglasses, Natalie? She's like, to protect my eyes from the sun. I'm like, who do you know that's died from the sun? And I basically asked all the questions about her sunglasses that people ask about COVID. Like, who do you know that's died from the sun? Well, nobody. Then why are you wearing sunglasses every day for? Well, to protect my eyes. Protect them from what? What have you died from? What from what? What has been screwed up about your life when you're out in the sun with no sunglasses? Well, nothing, but you can't see when you're driving. Why not? What's wrong with your eyes when you're driving? Oh, it's a little bit like the response to her, it worked perfectly. And you could do the same thing with condoms. It's the same thing with condoms. What? I don't want to wear a condom. Why do I have to wear a condom? Me and my girlfriend hook up all the time with no condom. She's never gotten pregnant. Do you know anybody that's gotten pregnant from not wearing a condom? Like, you could do the same thing with COVID and all this other crap. Look, you wear sunglasses not to squint and get crow's feet. Wait. So you take a precaution every day to help your longevity? You take a precaution to help your personal longevity. Weird. Why would we do that? That's my general argument with seatbelts. Wait. Tati, how many people do you know that have flown through the windshield?
Okay, so let me say this. I have a friend who would always say, "Why do I have to wear a seatbelt? It's my life. It's my right. And if I get into an accident, I go through the windshield. Hey, I knew better. I just still didn't want to wear a seatbelt. It's uncomfortable. I'm a big dude. Having to wear the seatbelt is like constricting for him. He said it was the most uncomfortable thing because he was a big guy. And I remember always being like, dude, don't you want to like live a long life and avoid like, going through the windshield? And he'd be like, if it's my time, it's my time. He had that whole attitude. Guys, this person now in my life is, when is this vaccine coming? I'm getting the vaccine. It's a shift in how he thinks now. And I had to remember that everyone's at a different point in their life now as to how they react to all this too. Because back then we were in our 20s when he would say that. And now, we're in our 40s and he's like, no, I'm getting the vaccine. I'm going to be safe. I'm going to wear a mask. In fact, I don't even go nowhere. I get all my stuff delivered. And it's such a different person now, and it's funny when
that's another great point. That's a good point, because when you're younger, it's very hard to think about others around you. When you're between like 18 and 25, it's very tough to really appreciate you doing things for the betterment of everybody.
That was my side chick.
Well,
I mean, are you kidding?
You saw that with all the spring breakers.
Your 20s is where you make all those mistakes. What was that,
exactly. So the whole audience is not even going to listen to wearing masks or anything like that because they already got it all figured out. Oh man.
So I don't know. It's just, but it was a very interesting to say, like, what COVID person are you? The other thing too is I think that we've all relaxed. We've all kind of relaxed a little more, and because we've all had mental issues happen to us because of this. I think we've all felt like we were going into dark spaces when this, and so we're like, all right, well, we got to live somehow. And I remember it was like, people were like, you got to live. You can't stop living and being afraid, right? You have to still live. So it's like, okay, well, let me live, but try and do it in a way where I'm not jeopardizing the safety of others just so that I could live, So right. I think that's why even now we got real lax on a lot of things too.
Yeah, no, I'm not one of those, me, I flip flop. I switch my opinions. I don't really care. I feel blessed sometimes to get those little nuggets of perspective, like this phone call we got today of the guy who had it. But it was also great to talk to my buddy who was is a firefighter. Bumped into him like 3 weeks ago, and he was like, "Yo, last night for 5 hours, there was not a single hospital bed in San Diego open. So if you got a heart attack, you were dying in your living room, and that was it. We had nowhere to take you." I appreciate hearing those little things because, coming in every day and hanging out with Tati and Shelly, sure, it's like I feel blessed to be able to work with people I get along with and connect with and have chemistry with and all that stuff. But none of us are doctors and none of us have dealt with COVID specifically. Shelly had a negative test and a positive test. That's kind of the closest we've gotten to the hairy side of being in COVID.
I'm
so
testing. I have to test because I'm traveling out of the state. I have to test before I go and I have to test when I get back.
Right. So you're getting more connected to it, but it's still nothing like the perspective of someone who has laid in a hospital bed can give us, or someone who's picking patients up every night and calling a hospital and them going, "Sorry, go find another way. Go park your ambulance in a movie theater parking lot where you got some space and wait for us to let you know." Like when you hear that stuff, you go like, "Oh, that's right. There's a lot more going on out there that's happening than that's happening to me." What's up, Dawn?
There's my girl. Dawn, I did get your package. I just haven't opened it yet, just so you know.
Ooh.
So
package.
I'm very excited for it.
Yeah. Some came in the mail. These nuts.
What about D's? D's what? D's nuts. All right, hold on a second. I want to see if I can put this thing that Shelly sent us up, this graphic, really quick. Questions to ask.
That was a good one. I
really like it. I really like it a lot. I think I'm going to be able to get it on here really quick.
Oh, and real quick before you get that graphic on, Shantae, when she said the not to squint and get crow's feet, that was what somebody else told me why to wear sunglasses. Before that, I was actually wearing sunglasses so I could hide my face, that I didn't have any eyebrows or eye makeup on. That's actually why I wore sunglasses, so that nobody would see.
Are you serious?
It's kind of like the mask. You don't have to wear lipstick anymore because now you have the mask like this. Before it was like, I just put sunglasses on.
I haven't heard that yet. Have lipstick companies and stuff like that been taking a big crap? I mean, like that's got to totally affect them. I haven't heard anything like that. Well, I bet you we could look that up and it's totally happening.
Yeah, I saw this girl put makeup on and she made the outline of what the mask was, where it was going to be. Then she just did makeup on the entire face except for this section. I was like, genius,
right?
That is so good right there. It's so good. Kind of seems like something my wife would figure out. Like I would like, "What are you doing in that?" And she would have that all figured out. She would be doing it. All right, I got this picture up. Take a look at this, guys. I think this is kind of fun. We could talk a little bit. Questions to call yourself out on.
Yeah.
This is just high-level self-awareness.
Bless you.
Oh, excuse me.
Wow.
Sneezing isn't a COVID symptom, is it?
It is.
No, but it spreads it.
You want to get that tequila squirts over there behind you.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's some alcohol wipes. If you could go ahead and start working on that studio now, that'd be great.
My face hasn't even recovered from it yet. My eyes are watering.
If anybody wants to know, just so you know, Jesse's sneezes, they do pick up the Richter scale because literally that entire studio shakes every time Jesse sneezes. Like it's like a whole, it's not just like a, like there's no like germ jail for his sneezes because it's like a straight up like,
yeah. And not only that,
no, he's got to just let it rock his body. Like
I know, and you don't even give it to your tits, man. That's where I go. I go to the tits. It's like,
no.
Do you? Oh no, I do sometimes. I do. If I'm in the store or something like that, I will so pull over.
Oh no, I don't want to feel that on there. Like,
but I will say this: I have no idea when I'm going to sneeze, and I know there's other people out there. I get about a half a second notice. There's no warning. I'm just all of a sudden in conversation like, ah! That's how I've always been. But thank you.
I used to hold my sneezes in, and it was not good. And then somebody said that was such a bad thing to do, and I was making myself sick. And I was like,
yeah,
really?
That's like holding your farts in.
Oh, I never hold a fart.
Never do that. I would never.
I did a whole video yesterday about what happens when you hold your farts in, and I was like, well, you don't have to worry about that because I tell Oliver that he should think it's cute.
Oh my God, really? She thinks it's cute?
Yeah.
I told him he should think it's cute when I fart. Get over it. You should think it's cute.
It is kind of cute. You know what? No, you gotta do like me and Natalie started our relationship off so perfect with farting, and she's gonna hate that I tell this story. But we were in a car together coming back from a club or a bar or something like that when I was working in LA. And we had only been together for a couple of years. It was still pretty early. Anyways, she was very sick from too much alcohol at the club. So she was leaning out the window, throwing up out of my car window, but she was farting at the same time. So she would like throw up and fart and throw up and fart. And she was getting so upset, like, oh my God, she was like leaning out of the window, like, I'm so sorry, I don't know what's happening to me. And I was like, no, this is so awesome.
This is the best human moment ever. Valerie, sorry to get off the farting conversation, but Valerie, yes, we are with you on that. We just haven't quite gone there yet.
Oh, I don't see Valerie's comment. Oh.
Wait. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? We've talked about it all morning.
Guys.
Yeah, trust me. Tati and I even had the discussion this morning. Like, do we need to go solve this ourselves or what? Like, dude.
We want to. Yeah.
The signs are definitely pointing to the husband, and I hate to do that even in a public setting right now on the live stream and accuse anyone of something crazy like that. But man, if you watch any true crime stuff, it is a bummer when you start to piece together all the normal true crime TV show kind of procedures and how they do stuff and look at stuff and investigate stuff. It does not seem very good, man.
And the fact that you said it made Yahoo's front page yesterday. Dateline NBC was already talking about who they've spoken to. It's like, oh, shit.
Once Dateline gets involved, that's never good. I swear they already know what's going on.
They're just going to put that on. They're for sure going to make an ID show of it. Guarantee.
Yeah, no, Valerie, we didn't talk about it on the air. We talked about it off the air. I don't know if speculating about that on the air is going to be very responsible for us yet.
I feel like that's you know where there's a safe space to do something like that is like the podcast world. Like for some reason, the podcast world, you can still just go in
accuse anyone of anything.
Accusing anybody of anything. Like you can just do whatever. But like in, I think FCC wise, I don't know if it's very wise for us to. Right. It has to already be solved, and it has to kind of like for us to comment on it. But I think because it's an ongoing investigation, it would be terrible for us, or even online. Like, I mean, I think this is still okay, but I don't know. You never know. I know
what you're saying, though. I mean, there's things you should talk about and not talk about. Hold on. Back to the farting out of the car window. Jesse, that's the moment you knew you want to marry Nat. You know what's funny? That was the moment I knew she was like the best for sure. I was like, I really like this girl. She's throw up farting. So good.
Hell yeah. Do you ever workout fart? Workout fart too.
No.
Like, dude, that's sneeze farts? Oh, when you sneeze fart, that's hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Wait, I have not seen that. Where can I find that, Thor? Where I need to find that ASAP. Dude. Keith Morrison is the one that's like he's like the old man one, Tati. Like the old man.
Back and crosses his leg and just
yes. I love a good leg cross on an interview. Oh man.
And then he squints the whole time.
So you mean to tell me you walked through the blood after you killed the person, but you're not guilty?
And that's why he's so good, because he asks questions. That's like that thing you just put up. It's like the calling yourself out. He's like, I'm going to assist you in calling yourself out right now.
Totally. He's the best at it. I love that about him. We're going to have to get back to this tomorrow. We've had a great web stream about talking about other stuff. We'll have to get back to that maybe Friday when we get back on here. But this is a really good thing. This is a great self-awareness article that producer Shelley found that I love. And it basically has to do with getting out of your own head, right? That's what it kind of seems like.
Or out of your own way.
Yeah, or out of your own
way. Yeah. I think it's like when you're self-sabotaging, you don't even realize you're self-sabotaging. Or even better, you're blaming everyone else except yourself for what's happening in your life. So you have to kind of call yourself out on it.
I'm trying to think of times in my life I've done that. I feel like I felt very sorry for myself many times with my custody situation and child support and all that kind of stuff. I felt very sorry for myself. And I think I felt like I had no idea who to blame it on, and it felt really weird because I wanted to be mad at something or somebody, but it was just life. You know what I'm saying? And so I just didn't have like, I don't know. I don't think I processed that properly over the years because I didn't ask myself enough questions in that way and really I just kind of looked at it as like, I feel like someone's doing something to me and I can't put my finger on like who is ruining my life intentionally. And it's just, I was looking at it all wrong. Should have been asking myself some of those questions, you know?
So I just
Go
got
into
an
those
email, and not to brag, but Marcus Lemonis's administrative coordinator just emailed me.
Marcus Lemonis.
The guy from that Street of Dreams show I talked about last week.
Oh.
He's loving him some San Diego. What's that?
He's in San Diego, you said?
He just donated $30,000 or $20,000 to Encontro, which is the restaurant I told you that Big Ed eats at. He just gave them $30,000 to make meals for frontline workers.
I gotta pee. I can't hold it anymore.
My gosh, me too.
All right, well, why don't we end on that note then, so you guys can all go pee.
Bye, friends. Love you. We'll see you Friday. Join us Friday for our web stream. Remember, Wednesdays and Fridays.
Just you two on Friday, don't forget.
Say that again.
I said it's just you two on Friday, don't forget.
You're going to be gone? Okay, we're going to need a third person. Anybody who wants to be our third window here at our live stream, we'll send you the link. You have to be available to join us, and we'll make that happen. It should be fun. Bye, Shelly. Bye, Josh. Bye, Thor. See you, friends.
Bye, crew.